put your hands together and help me welcome Bronwen and John to the stage. Thank you. So Bronwen, first of all, tell us a little bit about you and John and your background. What did you do before you got into property?
Yeah, so we were both working full-time. I was in banking, 21 years in Lloyds Bank. John was in IT consultancy in London, both commuting, really long journeys, really in that rat race, not seeing our family, 2 children, and really sort of on the treadmill of lots of liabilities and never having enough time. So,
yeah. But hey, paid well.
Yeah. It did pay
good
well.
income.
It did.
And do you think sometimes people get stuck, as you said, that rat race? They get very well paid, they get stuck in that race, and they can't actually make a break out from that.
Absolutely. I think one of the turning points for me was being told that I wouldn't be able to take my pension until I was 67.
Yeah, they keep on raising the age, don't they?
I was sitting on the train, all these commuters, and thinking, oh my goodness, I can't see myself doing this, beyond the age of 55, let alone 67. So definitely wanted to find a way out.
Did you know they keep on increasing the age you get your state pension at, and they try and fix it so the age you get your pension is just above the average life expectancy? So that hopefully most people will claim it, but still. Anyway, so decided to do something different. So what did you do about it? How did you come to property?
Well, we thought we'd buy a flat. We thought, well, we've read all about property. It's supposed to be a good investment. We had some stocks and shares. And we thought, well, why don't we sell the stocks and shares, because they were rock bottom anyway. We might as well raise enough money to put a deposit on a flat. And we did that, and then we decided we ought to educate, get some knowledge, because we thought, well, maybe 5 or 6% return on investment could be a little bit, low. We could do better than that.
Yeah, and that's what most people have on a single let, isn't it? 5 or 6%. Okay.
Yes.
So you came to some training with us.
Well, read the book, went to a PIN meeting. Thought it was a bit weird. Everyone was very happy and wanted to share their story.
They're talking to each other.
Really strange.
That doesn't happen in banking very often, does it?
No,
really?
well, it's supposed to be really competitive, I thought. So it was very strange. And then you actually phoned me up because I think we asked about whether to do the 3-day or the Mastermind.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, Mastermind's very expensive. So
it's very expensive. Very expensive.
Well, we made that money back in the first deal we did. So
So actually, because I know we say, look, come and do the 3-day course first, just to make sure it's right for you.
Yes.
And obviously you like that. And then, so the first deal you did paid for Mastermind.
Yes, it did. Yeah, we made significant income from that. Yeah, because we were working full time. So the first 12 months or the first 11 months of Mastermind, we were working full time and doing Mastermind. So
And you did pretty well. From memory, didn't you get up to about 80,000 income in the first year? So
60,000.
60,000 in the first year, working full time, commuting to London from Southampton. So that's a nice long commute, isn't it? Okay, good. And then let's talk about this particular deal. So go to the slides, please. And so we said we wanted to pick this one. So what's special about this particular one? I mean, apart from using other people's money, which is always quite good.
Well, we did. This is the first one that we used 2 investors, and we put none of our own money into it. So,
okay, so how did you find these investors?
I met one at a PIN meeting.
Yeah.
And got to know him. So very early on in our journey, is you teach us to tell everybody what you do.
That doesn't work, does it?
Well, social media.
Well, no way. Do you know some people didn't bother to post on, they didn't bother to do the simple things we suggest?
No, exactly. So social media, I was telling people, I was on LinkedIn, I was on Facebook, telling people what I was doing.
Did you get some funny reactions from some people though? Because, hang on, you work in banking, right? What are you doing this property stuff for?
Yeah, well, a little bit. I think people were intrigued and wanted to know more. But I got back in touch with a friend that I hadn't met for probably 8 years, 9 years.
So working through that list of people, as we said, they saw it and thought, oh.
Yeah, and he saw it and he said, I'd like to know a little bit more. How is it that you're doing what you're doing? So we went and saw him for lunch. We showed him 1 or 2 of our HMOs that we'd already done. And he said, oh, I'd like to come and have a look.
Didn't he... Because you didn't have any property experience beforehand, did you?
No.
So wasn't that a problem for him, or was it the fact you had a couple of deals you'd done quite quickly? Was that enough for him?
Yes. I mean, I've got a little portfolio that I was able to show him the numbers, how it worked. He came down and actually looked at this one. We had a bit of an open day because we built up a number of people who were interested to invest.
Yeah.
So we said, well, come and have a look at it. We'd offered and had an offer accepted already on it. So, and this was a fall through. It had fallen through twice. So talk about motivated seller.
Yeah.
We were able to buy it below market value.
Was it an estate agent or one you keep your eye on?
It was an estate agent.
Right.
And I'd kept going into the estate agent, buying them donuts.
Yeah.
I hadn't bought with this agent before, interestingly, but I'd showed them what I've done before with other people, and I said, come on, let's work together. We could really benefit each other. If you have something like the things I want, and it falls through for somebody else, phone me, because I can move really quickly. So I said I could exchange on this in 2 weeks. I wasn't sure I could do that.
That's pretty quick, isn't it?
It was quick. And I thought, well, it has to be with investor funds.
Yeah.
And we actually fulfilled that promise on this. But 2 investors on this was really interesting, because we'd found 2 people that had a very similar need. They didn't mind leaving their money in. So when we talk to investors, it's really about what is it that they're looking for. Would they be happy with a loan? Would they want to leave money in? Would they like a joint venture and share the risks? And both of these people are businessmen. One had 50,000, was happy to put in, and the other one had 25,000. So they both put all their money into that, and were happy to leave it there, which was amazing.
Sometimes we assume that people want to get their money back, but
Yeah,
if they're getting a great return, they're quite happy, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely. Both are very happy. And in fact, subsequently, we've refinanced this with their permission, and we've bought another one in the same street.
Right.
So they
So
own
just
both
cycle the
buildings.
deposit from one to the next.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did. So we were able to take,
And so did you have to, how
advantage
did
of
you, because someone say, well, yeah, how is their money protected? Did you give them a charge? Is it a personal guarantee? How
Yes.
did you secure their
they
money?
have a deed of trust against the property.
Yeah.
We have a heads of terms agreement as well, which we signed very early on.
Yeah.
So that we made sure that both of them were happy with it. We actually got them together and we had lunch so they could meet each other.
Yeah.
So that, we built that relationship and made sure that they were comfortable with what we were doing. And then, yes, having rented it out for 12 months, we then said to them, how about, we've done this before, we can get the money out and buy another one, and one came up in the street. So we actually did an investor pack and said, look, we can do this. And do you know what they said to John? They said, we'd love to have some of this voodoo magic.
It's called property magic. It's
We
not
could
voodoo
change
magic.
the title of the next book.
Yeah, maybe.
It's voodoo magic.
Because, it does seem like that to some people, doesn't it?
Yes,
How can you possibly,
yes.
it must be magic, but it's
Yes.
not. It's actually just
Yeah.
straightforward, just following the pattern, isn't it?
Yes.
Following the formula.
Yeah.
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 Okay, good. And so so bring us up to date. So you're no longer both working. You've been able to give up work.
Yes.
So just doing property full time. And what, if you don't mind sharing, what have you got your income up to now?
I think it's about £80,000. It's interesting because we keep reinvesting our money into new deals.
Yes.
So we've been doing some interesting strategy with short-term letting rooms. So we're buying commercial properties and letting the rooms to contractors, council, emergency housing, bit of homeless. Really, really interesting strategy. So we're reinvesting a lot of our money into that.
Yeah.
And we're doing some small developments as well now. So
Okay, excellent.
exciting
So
things
stepping
that
up
we
what
like.
you're kind of doing.
Yeah, we're enjoying.
But for me, the
Yes.
most exciting thing is what this has enabled you to do. So do you want to share what John's
Oh, my
doing
goodness.
later in the year?
Yes, I'd love to have John up here, maybe later. John is following his dream, which is to sail around the world. And he's going to come up and tell us, actually, because he's here now. Come and use the mic.
Yeah, you
because,
should do, yeah. Okay, can we bring another hand mic, please, as quick as we can? Let's give John a round of applause. Or you could just cuddle up together.
We'll just cuddle up.
You cuddle up.
That's fine.
Cuddle up.
So, yes, so back in the 1990s, Rob Knox-Johnson started this thing called the Clip Around the World race.
That's not on that mic, sorry. Keep talking.
So he started this thing called the Clip Around the World race, which allowed amateur sailors to race large yachts around the world, literally. And back then I thought, wow, I'd love to do that. But you know what? I'm in a job, I've got a mortgage. And it was just very firmly hooked on that thing called pipe dreams. And I kind of forgot about it. But then once we'd gone through our property journey, once we'd stopped working, by chance we happened to meet a lady who'd done one of the legs on the last race. She happened to be the girlfriend of one of our letting agents. And suddenly that reignited my desire and thinking, actually, you know what? I've wanted to do that for 20 years, but you know what now? I can. We can have the time, we can take the time out, we can afford the money. So now I'm going to be able to fulfill that 20-year ambition of sailing, not non-stop, so it's with the Clip Around the World race, all the way around. We leave in August this year, and I'll get back in about July next year. 40,000 miles of ocean racing on a 70-foot yacht against 11 other identical yachts with crews of about 20. They are basic. These are stripped-out racing boats. They aren't luxury little gin and tonic 6 o'clock type things.
You've just
It's a
lost
case
all
of,
interest in me now.
But you know what? And people keep on asking me, well, why do you want to do it? And I think, I don't really know. It's funny this morning with Derry saying, well, what's your reason why? I was thinking, I think I've lost that because it was so long. But I think
Let's
it's
hope you
also
don't get
about...
seasick after 2 weeks.
Well, the last training session, strange enough, I was seasick.
Okay.
That was an interesting experience.
This is why it's really important to get your reason why really clear and work out why you actually want to do stuff. You know?
But it depends. So I was talking to somebody about it at lunchtime, phrasing it. Well, actually, I think I want to do it because it's going to take me to places I've got no idea where they are. And it's purely that sense of adventure, that sense of
Most of us just use
what's
a
out
map.
there. But you don't even know where you want to get to. It's going to take me to places I don't even know whether I want to go to or not.
Yeah.
So it's just that pure sense of
Just
adventure.
what an amazing opportunity.
It is, but that's only come about essentially because we've done Mastermind.
3 years.
Because we've
3
changed
years
our
ago,
life around
only.
in the last 3 years, literally.
Yeah.
So when you come back after your world's epic cruise, what's life going to be like then? What are you going to do?
Absolutely no idea.
No, exactly. That's good.
Because actually that's part of the problem. I mean, it's part of the journey. This is the next step. Where's it going to go after that?
Yeah.
We'll find out.
But isn't
We'll
that
find out when we
exciting
get
as
there.
well?
Absolutely.
You know you're not going to be stuck in a job for 40 years.
Yeah.
You get to shape and choose how you make it.
It's absolutely thrilling. It's kind of what we want. The whole idea of doing the property journey was to give ourselves freedom and choice and time. And that's what we're doing.
Excellent. Great. Anything else you'd like to, any final golden nuggets you'd like to add? If anyone?
Well, I would say that Mastermind seemed quite daunting to us at the start, really. But you get into that routine. You have a coach, you have a buddy, you have a mentor on the national programme, and it just felt like you had a lot of you built another family, and it was a very emotional year. Ups and downs. It's not always brilliant. There's a lot of downs, and people pick you up. And I must say,
how easy would it be? Because there are ups and downs in property, right?
Yeah.
How easy would it be to give up when the downs come if you didn't have that support environment around you?
Very easy.
Very easy, very easy. I mean, there are tough times. There are tough times when thinking, well, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Everything seems to be against you.
Yeah.
But then when you've got a support group around you and you can fire out an email saying, oh my God, it's dreadful, and someone comes out, well, think of this, think of that, think of the other, and thinking, okay, let's put it back into perspective. Let's stand back a bit, and people to help you do that, it makes all the difference because it allows you the space to regroup your thoughts and then say, yes, I can do this, we can do this. You know what, there's all the answers there. You put a post on the forum saying, how do I do this? Suddenly you get 10 answers coming back and thinking, yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Great, we know how to progress now. We know what to do next.
Still learning. I was
And-
on the forum this morning. Got a response from someone in the room. So yeah, fantastic.
And it's amazing how much you learn during that year. So 2014 to 15, we were doing Mastermind. Now we're hosting the Southampton one. And it still astounds me, actually, when delegates come and say, well, what do we do here? What do we do then? The answer comes out and you're thinking, where did that come from? 3 years ago, I didn't even know that. So you learn so much, and there's such a support there that it just helps you all the way through. I kind of viewed it took away all the excuses to fail, which is strange. For me, before we started Mastermind, that was the scariest thing.
Yeah.
The
Well,
fact
the
that
fear of failing, or
actually the fact that I knew that if we didn't do well, there was only one place to look.
Yeah.
I couldn't blame anybody else. Everything else was there.
Yeah.
The strategies were there, the solution was there, the support was there, the coaching, the mentoring. Yeah. If we didn't succeed with all that, there was literally only one place to look, and that's back at yourself.
Yeah.
And I found
But that can
that
be quite
really scary at the
because
time.
that's really saying, well, if I don't perform here, I've only got one person to blame.
Yeah.
That can be quite scary, can't it, really?
Yeah.
It is scary, but actually it's also motivational factors. Well, actually, everybody else is doing it, you can do it too.
Yeah. Did that
So-
help seeing other people around who are just like you or in a worse
Absolutely.
position getting results? You think, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
Actually, for me, one of the big things was Tim Huang,
Yeah.
a sort of
Yes.
chap who came in with nothing, what he achieved. And I was thinking, God, if he can do it,
Yeah.
with where his back, not because of, but his background, a Chinese immigrant, not particularly fluent in English,
Yeah.
an IT person like myself, not a great socializer and so on, think if somebody like that, within that support group, can do it, I have no reason why I can't.
Yeah.
I have to be able to do it.
And really, the first 12 months is just the first stepping stone, because you're going to do more
Yes.
the second year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and obviously you've now structured your portfolio so you don't have to look after it, which is how you can go sailing. And also,
Yeah.
you're not just letting him go on his own, are you? You're jetting around the world to meet him,
Yeah,
aren't
I'm
you?
going to meet him in various ports.
Yeah.
I
But you're
want to-
flying.
I'm flying.
Now, that's much smarter, isn't it?
Yeah. Much
You get to watch
smarter.
movies, have a drink, have
Yeah,
some
meet my
food.
friends.
There's no
Take
challenge.
my friends with me. I'm going to
Exactly.
do some volunteering in Namibia as well. That is something I'm absolutely passionate about. So again, giving back, doing some work in a cheetah sanctuary over there, doing some volunteering, which will be great. Again, trying to find out what is my passion. But I am helping other people, and that's what I love doing about the sort of learning that I'm helping other people with through Mastermind Local and through the very beginning of foundation steps to property success. It's great just to inspire people to just follow that process and start somewhere. You know, even if you're not going to sign up today, start doing something and start following the process, because it's hard on your own. If you sit back there and you're working and you just think, oh yes, I'll buy a property at some point.
It's
Oh, I
not
haven't
gonna
got
happen, is it,
time.
for most
It's
people?
not going to happen. It absolutely isn't. You know, follow what other people have done and be inspired by people who are successful. That's one thing I would, let people think about and
Absolutely.
suggest.
Well, you've both been an inspiration to us. Can we please hear it for
Thank
Bronwen
you.
and John? Thank you very much. So, as Bronwen mentioned, one of the things that I've not really talked about from Mastermind Local is also mentioning the forum. So the forum is a private, closed group where people can come and ask questions, they can post deals, and the whole point is that we've had over 100,000 posts on here over the years. So anything you want to know about property will already have been answered. You can do a search and bring up all the posts or ask a new question. And one of the great things about the forum is if you're doing a deal, can I ask a question? How many of you have looked at a deal, you found out what looks like a really good deal, and you've not done it because it's been almost too good to be true? No, that looks too good, and you've talked yourself out of it. Who's ever talked themselves out of doing a great deal? Show of hands? Only a few people. I'm surprised not more than that. Well, if you put a deal up on the forum and say, what do you think about this? And people are saying, yeah, that's great, that's great. Gives you the confidence to go forward and actually do that deal and get more deals done. But also, what about if you find a deal that actually looks good, but there's something you've missed? How many of you are worried about buying something and making a big mistake? Who's worried about that? Because if you put it up, there's more people worried about that, right? Put it up on the forum and people say, well, hang on, what about this and what about that? It can prevent you from buying the properties you shouldn't be buying. Look, I've been investing for a long time. I've got a few properties in my portfolio which I bought years ago, and at the time, knowing what I knew at the time, it seemed like a great deal. Knowing what I knew at that time, would I buy them again? Absolutely not. So the point is, by putting all the deals up so other people can look at them and assess them for you, it means you're not going to buy the deals that 5, 10 years down the line you're regretting. And that in itself, avoiding buying the lemons, can be worth the investment you're making in yourself and in the program. So you get access to that, and really we feel that is actually a price. You cannot, people have said, oh, can I pay to come on the forum? If you're not a mastermind, you can't pay to get on the forum. You just can't get on, basically. So that really is a kind of a price asset for you.